Hi.
Hi. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Oh my God.
First time.
Yes. Oh yeah, I didn't shake your
Hello.
hand.
Ito na.
I'm Jase Tiojanco. I'm an account executive at Microsoft Philippines. So I primarily sell software, right? Something interesting about myself, I'm very into learning languages. Currently, I can speak, aside from Filipino and English, I can speak a bit of Mandarin Chinese and Bahasa Indonesia. So these two languages.
Why those two languages?
I don't know, out of interest. And I used to fly around Southeast Asia because of work. So
You use like the app, the Duolingo.
no, I self-studied. I had books initially, and then I just formalized it by like taking certifications in Chinese. Yeah,
Certification.
yeah.
Nice.
Wild.
It's like IELTS, I guess. Yeah. How long have I been doing CrossFit at Ethos? 6 months. I was given the sticker already, and I have it here. I think.
Yeah, so my name is Keith. I'm currently working as a marketing manager in Mars Pet. So that's like pet food, right? I've been with Ethos since February. So March, April, May, June, July. Ay, June pa lang, no? 4 months pa lang pala. So around 4 months. I have a son. He's 2 years old. He's also a dog. So his name is Goose. The love of our lives, seriously. And basically, our life really revolves around him. Food and travel.
And travel.
Yeah. And then I guess something interesting about me, I also teach fitness. So whenever I'm not in Ethos, I am actually teaching fitness classes. I teach indoor cycling and HIIT.
What's the Instagram handle of your account?
Keith Llige. Ay, nay.
No.
Ayaw nga pala.
Oh, it's
Actually-
foodsnobs.ph. Follow us. Instagram.com/foodsnobs.ph.
Really good content.
Yeah.
She does most of the work. I do nothing. I do nothing. My contribution is the S in food snobs.
Yeah.
That's it.
Says, okay with me, babe. Thanks.
Walang ambag dun.
So, hi, I'm Czar. I'm a lawyer. I work for the government. And I've been with CrossFit ETHOS since end of November, I think. So almost 8 months. I'm fairly new to the CrossFit game. I don't know what you call it, but I'm very happy with the CrossFit ETHOS and my progress. And I guess actually the food snobs thing was supposed to be my interesting fact about myself. But I guess
Sorry! Dapat
But I guess people don't know, but I'm also a certified personal trainer and nutritionist. I do a train with Czar on the side. It's like my semi-passive income. So I do that during my free time.
It
So.
was like her pandemic
Yeah, it's my
project.
pandemic project.
Yeah.
Okay, so June is Pride Month, right? So you got a lot of how we can get to know you better. And if you're willing to share your coming out stories.
Well, mine was sort of it's really like a slow burn for me, honestly. You know how like in the movies, it's like, Mom, I'm gay, or something like that. And then there were like a lot of tears, a lot of shouting or whatever. Usually, it's not as dramatic in real life. And in my case, it was really like an awkward thing to do because I was young. Yeah, I was young. I think I was in college. Yeah, I was first year college. Thought it was the right time to do it. I was picturing this really glorious moment, but this is reality. It's not like that, diba? So it was an awkward time, and then acceptance came by a couple of years after. It wasn't like an instant thing, especially for my parents, right? But they came around, especially when they got to know Czar more. Siguro mga when we were like a couple years in na. So it got better, but it wasn't really. I wouldn't say it was bad. It was just weird. Yeah. How about you?
In my case, it's pretty similar. It was like a slow burn. So my coming out story is like in stages, in phases. I started by telling my best friend back in 2012 when I had my first partner. But I think what I'd like to highlight is when I came out to my manager and to my parents, right? So this event was pretty recent. Like when I joined Microsoft back in 2022, my manager is this alpha woman, but she's super caring, right? And I don't know, during one of we call them connects, she was able to make me comfortable enough to share my truth with her because I have a partner. She was just trying to ask questions, not intrusively, but I was able to share with her my truth. And she found out that my parents didn't know, my family didn't know, a lot of my friends didn't know. And she gave me enough courage to to share that with my mom. And then the next important one was with my mom. It was her birthday back in 2022 when I decided this is the time that I'll tell her. We went on a date. I mean, we planned the date, but on that date, my partner was there. I told her that I'll be introducing you to someone. And she was like, oh, who? My partner. And when I opened the door and she saw my partner, she immediately hugged my partner.
Oh my God, that's so
She's super,
sweet.
and until now, she super loves my
I know,
partner.
I might cry.
And then,
Sorry, I'm very
Iyakin
emotional.
talaga.
yeah. And then, sinabi pa niya talaga, tuwang-tuwa ako na pinakilala ka sa akin. You know what? I told my mom, first time pa lang to, huwag kang feeling close. Yeah, and then eventually, everything just followed. Like, I was able to tell my dad as well. And my dad was very welcoming about it. And I'm happy because I was able to tell him before he passed. And my dad was very fond of my partner as well. So, yun, to the point na he'd look for my partner and not me.
Oh, so it was an instant, like,
Yeah.
thing for you. Oh, that's awesome.
Then eventually, siblings ko, they were super happy na, you know, I found, I'm sharing my truth, my true self in a way, di ba? Yun.
Ganda.
Oo nga.
Parang movie na
It's
movie
like,
sa kanya.
compared to mine, it's like, you know what? That was like anticlimactic. Kasi,
I should have gone first. Like, oh, tears are gonna come.
Ayun. Dinala ko siya nun sa Toyo Eatery, by the way.
Oh.
So, tong-tuwa siya. I mean, she had good food and then
She met your partner.
she met my partner.
That's so sweet. Well, actually, I also came out like fairly recent to my parents. This last year, July, I think. So we had this thing planned it out. Like I wrote a very, very emotional letter to my parents, and then we went on a run just so I could like take my mind off things. And then I sent the letter in the parking lot, and then I didn't open the chat group until like later that afternoon, I think. So it wasn't as, I mean, I kind of knew that they would disapprove because I'm the only child and they're really strict parents. They're conservative, very religious. So, mixed reactions. So now it's like sort of an open secret. I'm still not super accepted by my parents, but at least, you know, there are like baby steps as to like accepting me for who I am. But really, I think what people fail to realize is that, you know, coming out, it's not a one-time thing. You announce it, oh guys, I'm gay. It's like, it's every day. Like, I feel like I have to come out. Like, whenever I meet like a new friend, like, or when I'm in a new setting, I feel like I still have to evaluate if I can tell this person, like, who I am, or if I can truly be me. Because as much as I'm proud about it, I'm proud of who I am. I'm not sure as to how other people would take it. So it's a little work in progress for me, and I guess for all of us, because every day we still have that kind of struggle. So see, it's downhill now. We should have ended with you. Should have ended with you.
the fairy tale.
Yeah, it's like.
I know it's 2024 and a lot of people say it's modern times now, right? In your experience, like personally, what has been the biggest challenges so far?
I guess like the biggest challenge is the one that we can't control, obviously, right? The legal part. The legality of...
I haven't really thought about legal.
Oo nga, akala mo kayo lawyer. Ako ba yung nag-bring up di ba? The legal act, no, seriously, kasi parang, di ba, parang, it's hard to maneuver through life without having like it on paper. Di ba?
Correct.
So parang at the end of the day, that's the biggest battle that the community really has to go through. And it sucks right now because at least where we are, no, parang it's not something within our control. Right? So that for me is the challenge. But what lifts me up naman would be yung baby steps, you know, the baby steps that
agree.
the community takes part of. Like, you know, like these pride marches, like different establishments, different fitness communities really celebrating the cause, right? Soji Bill, you know, there are those steps talaga that make this whole cause, what's it called? Yeah, visible, right? And relevant
Correct.
in our country. So, not there yet. It sucks. But, you know, we're getting there.
Yeah.
There may progress naman.
And just recently, I found out there are certain cities, specifically Quezon City, which has a very progressive leader.
Yeah.
And she's really pushing for, you know, the right to care card, for example.
Yeah.
They're introducing like testing centers which are more discreet because we have to understand not everyone's comfortable in going to testing centers,
Yeah.
especially for gay people. who are, still in the closet. And even workspaces nowadays, some of them are introducing policies which are more inclusive. In our case, for example, in the office, we have this option. If you're single, you can elect your partner to be the beneficiary or your dependent. Yeah, we have those steps being taken, and it makes me happy that we're being recognized, that we're being factored into decisions as well.
So we heard the love story of Jase. I would love to hear how you guys met. Do you want to share?
I hate this story. She loves telling it, but I hate it.
Okay.
So,
You have to add.
Ako yung context setting.
Sige, okay. Actually, for context, we've been together for almost 15 years. So we're sort of high school sweethearts. Well,
Technically.
oh, but I am so happy telling people about the story because nilindi niya ako first. I think it was the last week of school, high school. And then one day,
Yearbook ba yan? Yearbook?
no,
Oh, it's worse.
It's actually my hand. And then she wrote on my hand, I like you. Wow!
It's very high school moves. No, kasi in my defense, I was like, okay, I'm graduating. We're going to separate schools. Never gonna see her again. Wala namang mangyayari, might as well. Suot ko nga. Ayun. But at the time, the feelings were not mutual.
Yeah.
At all. It was also awkward.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what to
Kasi
do.
it was in the middle of class, and it was I think a week before grad.
Yeah, it was a week before
something
grad,
like that, diba? So I wrote it down, and it was the middle of the class, so no one had to talk. So after nun, umalis na lang ako, ayoko na. No thanks.
And then, the feelings came afterwards. Wow.
Summer break.
Yeah, summer, no. I spent a night at your house with other friends, of course. And then, I was like, oh, she's kind of cute. Wow.
Tagal.
And then we started dating, started going out. And then college, we went to separate schools. She went to LaSalle, went to Ateneo. And she would make the effort to commute from LaSalle to Ateneo.
I'm super street smart now thanks to that.
I know.
I know the MRTs.
I couldn't imagine. UP Ateneo pa nga lang, nalalayuan na ako.
Dude, mga 3 times.
Yeah, may switch yun, di ba? LRT, MRT. She commuted talaga for me. So, I think yun yung start.
So has your community, how big of a part has it played, given it's a Pride Month, helping you? Syempre, there's another sense of community in having that, right? And it gives you a safe space, right? So how has that community helped you and kind of define who you are and what you do for the community as well? Is it something that for example, do you actively join mga Pride marches, or do you do mga activities, or do you help out other people who might be going through coming out, or meron mo mga ganun kayong mga relationships?
I mean, outside of the CrossFit community, right? I mean, in at work, we have this group called Glean. So it's an LGBTQIA+ community within Microsoft across the globe. But we have a local chapter. And we always organize events for, not just for the LGBTQIA, but for everyone, to understand, where we're coming from, who we are, right? Sensitive topics, to make sure that everyone feels included and that everyone feels that they belong. So just recently, we've been, we had, for example, Joy Belmonte in the office because they organized that for us, and that's why I found out about the projects of the city, right? At the same time, we have other events such as dance classes. We also participated in the Pride March. Sadly, I couldn't participate today, but last year we had that, right? We have learning sessions for gender identity, right? So that everyone would be aware. And, it feels great to be in an organization or in a company that prioritizes diversity and inclusion. Because we have to admit, in the workspaces, especially in the Philippines, it's still quite taboo, right?
Yeah.
When people super conservative.
Exactly.
I can't say the same thing.
Yeah, exactly, right? There are instances, because of the conservatism or even the traditionalism of certain companies, people are hesitant to be their true selves in the office. And I felt that before. It was really difficult. I felt like I had to build a very tall and thick wall. That's why I'm happy now in the office because, I have a very supportive manager. I have a very welcoming and a team who embraced who I am, right? And I can be who who I am in the office without fear, right? So I think that's a very, very big thing, not having that worry at the back of my mind every time I go to the office.
So do you feel the same way when you're at CrossFit Ethos? John, plug in. Oh my God.
Oh, definitely. I mean, definitely. Like, I feel like I belong as well in CrossFit Ethos. I mean, when I go there, it feels like, it's like a third home or a second home, right? So I look forward to workouts. I don't feel like I have to put on a mask or a face.
I agree.
Diba? I can be who I am, right?
Yeah.
And just enjoy working out and suffering with a lot of other people, whether they're gay or straight, right?
It doesn't matter in CrossFit Ethos. That's
Doesn't-
what I like.
yeah.
Like, I joined Ethos first, like, before Keith, like, a few months prior. And she knew how much I loved Ethos. Like, I would always, like,
Talk
tell
about it nonstop.
"Oh, babe, Ethos talaga is the best. I have new friends. And I don't have to be a secret. That's what I like. And then, I think she saw the joy and happiness in my eyes. And then she joined a couple of months later. And I hope you feel the same way.
No, it's so funny because like when I joined Ethos, not exactly because of the community class. So that was my first experience with Ethos. But I had this like thing. I thought about it. Valentine's Day, I was like, what can I give Czar kaya during Valentine's Day? I was like, okay, let's do a grand gesture. I'm just gonna walk in. Sabi ko, walk in ako sa, I think that was like it was a snatch day.
It's a Wednesday.
First of all, it was a snatch. I hate snatches. I have like PTSD from snatches.
All days.
And then I knew no one. I knew no one in the box at that time. So I was like, okay, grand gesture. Let's go. Valentine's Day. I arrived, she was late, and I'm like, really? Talaga late ka pa today. Like, bilisan mo, tumo ka na dito. I hope you were surprised.
Yeah,
I don't even
I
know
was,
like
I
you were
was.
surprised. But like, what I loved about that session, and it was actually parang it was my indicator na parang, yeah, I'm gonna join here. When I arrived, like, everyone was just, oh my gosh, Keith, you're here, whatever. Like, everyone was just so friendly.
Super friendly.
Yeah, super friendly. Like, it was not a struggle at all to talk to, like, literally
And I was
everyone
late,
there.
right? Everyone was texting me, Czar, faster, Czar, bilisan mo. Coach Joe will wait for you daw. Sabi ko,
Yeah,
I didn't ask anyone to wait for me. Like, apparently, she was there.
Yeah, and I mean that sentiment also resonates with me that everyone's so friendly because I mentioned this to some of my friends from my previous box that oh my god, I'll return after 1 month because I felt that Ethos was far, that I didn't have friends at least for the first 2-3 sessions. But eventually, when I got to know the people and the community, I really felt like I suddenly belonged,
Yeah,
and it was
pretty solid.
actually pretty easy. Maybe at first I was just thinking of I don't have friends here. My friends are somewhere else. But when I got past that, it was so easy. It was so easy. And I couldn't imagine myself anywhere else right now.
Me too.
Yeah, like what Zara said earlier kanina, right? Sometimes you feel like you have to come out all over again. Again and again in different scenarios with different people. But like in Ethos, literally no need. Like just come as you are, you're good. You know?
If you were to give an advice to your younger self or
it's a
a younger person in general, that means
Wait, I'll find a picture of my younger self and then
kakausapin mo siya. So, if you were to give a younger self or young people in general who might be in the same environment or setting or are feeling certain things na parang they don't belong or they have something that they want to share with other people, what advice would you give them?
I think you have already answered for this.
It's staying in my head.
I will support
Advice.
this answer.
No, ay dalawa yung sa akin.
Sige, I'll chime in.
Okay. So, yeah. So, for me, I guess the advice I would give to my younger self or the younger generation is to take their time. Like, coming out is scary, it's an awkward, it's an uncomfortable thing to do. Like, for anyone, literally. So, don't let any situation, anything, or anyone rush you into doing something. Take your time to know yourself. Take your time to understand what you like, who you love. And then when you know if it's time, then it's time. It'll just click. Like, trust me, you'll just know when the right time is. And then from there, it's just only upwards from there because at this point, there are a lot of like supportive communities, a lot of supportive people who will really back you up. Just by being yourself.
Yeah, I agree. Like, it's really important to also support us, to find like a great support group Because if you have that solid group of friends to understand like what you're going through, or at least someone who you can talk to about these things, it will be much easier for you to come out and to accept yourself. Because I didn't have that, because I like what I said, my family's not really accepting. I'm an only child. I had no one to talk to. But what I appreciated was that I really was able to find friends who were able to talk to me about it, who were always reassuring me that, we love you no matter what. Like, even if your parents don't, I mean, they do. It's just like, even if your parents don't, we're still here for you, and someday they'll understand, and it'll be okay in the end. I really think everything will be okay in the end. I firmly believe that. So, Yeshua will provide.
Those two things really resonate with me as well. For me, it's more of, it sounds cliche, but love yourself, embrace yourself. I mean, don't doubt what you can do, right? If you're going through these struggles, just trust and believe that, as mentioned, things will turn out fine. Things will turn out fine. For the longest time, I've been, so worried about not being accepted by my family. But you know what? They embraced who I am.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, just trust.
Yeah, I think
Trust
eventually
yourself.
people will come around.
Yeah.
If they really love you, and the love is there, like, how can you even deny that kind of love? So that's right. Love yourself. People will love you back. It's fine. It'll be okay. So happy, because I really love myself. Wow.
On
She has a
that
lot of
note,
self-love.
I know, right?
Guys,
Self-love.
Cheers.
Cheers.
thank you for being part of our Pride Month podcast.
No,
Happy Pride!
Happy Pride. That was really good.